Ladies and gentlemen, the Newton Nomadic Theater presents Story Slam.
Okay, it's 1970, and I knew this guy who was an architect and a photographer, and he decided to buy some land in Nova Scotia. He was going to build a house. Well, it was 1970 and the height of hippiedom, and so he was going to do this off the grid. You know, it was all going to be done by hand, no power tools, and he was looking for volunteers to go up there and help him build this. Well, I had been a literature major. I just graduated from college, and I had never built anything. In fact, it took me half of my 6th grade to build a lamp that had 2 pieces of wood and 1 wire. I mean, we did have to bevel the corners, it's true. But, so I didn't know how to build anything. I had no experience. I'm not qualified for this. But I had been spending the last 4 years reading way too much, and I was up for a workout. So I said, sure, I'll go. So we go up there, and we spent weeks and weeks just digging the footings for this house by hand, with 2 picks and a couple shovels, and he was going to build this out of stone. Well, the stones came from the beach. These were nice, smooth, flat stones. This was the inspiration for this house. He built it out of beach stone, and he owned the beach, I guess, because he bought this land by the beach. But to get to the beach, you had to have a hand-built cart. I went through 3 of them, okay? And you had to go a quarter of a mile down the road, and then down the ramp, and then along the beach. This took like an hour, and it could only be done at low tide. So low tide could happen at 2 in the morning. It could happen at 2 in the afternoon. So you know, it was this non-stop. Are we going to get the stones? And then hauling them up one by one in the cart, and up, a couple times a day, maybe. So between hauling stones and digging footings, we were getting nowhere quickly, really. And in fact, to show how incompetent we were, one week we encountered a rock in our way as we were digging the footings, as this will happen. And we spent, I'm not kidding, 3 guys, I was by far the smallest, took turns trying to get rid of this rock. Pick, until finally your wrists are killing you. I can't take it anymore. The next guy picks up the pick. One day, we're doing this for almost a week. I'm not kidding. We keep going around it, go get some more rocks, come back. And this guy comes down, a farmer, a local farmer came down. They were great. All these farmers helped us out a lot. Comes down one day, and he's built just like me. And he says, what are you doing? I said, Harold, this rock. I mean, it's killing us. And he goes, he's got a cigarette like this, What's going on? And he said, you got some sort of camping rod or something? So we said, yeah. So he says, he goes over to the stone, he starts throwing dust, dirt on the rock, and he drops this camping rod on it, and we're looking at each other like, what is going on? And there's some mystical thing he's doing here. He's throwing sand on it, dropping the thing. I'm waiting for him to sacrifice some farm animals. How is this helping? He says, you have a pick? And we said, well, yeah, what's left of it over here? And he says, what do you mean a pick? So I'm not kidding. He goes like, the thing's about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, it's only a slight exaggeration. He takes his pick, whack, the thing falls in half. Whack, quarter, whack, 3 strokes, the thing's in quarters. His cigarette is still lit. That he put down on the side of the trench when he picked up the thing. Well, what did you do? And he goes, every rock's got a fault in it, you just got to find it. So by putting sand and tamping the thing, he was watching how the sand moved on the rock, he found the cracks, boom, 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 job done. And we thought, really, we have no business being here. We need all the folklore that you can pass on at this moment, Harold. So we got over that one, now the rock was gone. So we gather more and more stones, and one day we're having lunch, we're all sleeping in tents, of course, and we're all eating in a bigger tent, of course. And one day we're having lunch, and I said, I got an announcement to make. I got to tell you something. And okay, I said, I just calculated the volume of that pile of stones that we've gathered, and I looked at the plans, And at the rate that we are gathering stones, we are not going to have enough stones until 1982. And that was the moment when we all realized this was a really bad idea.